Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm at the roof and it's the crack of dawn. Okay, and like yesterday night, I was up all night doing some stuff, some work. Work beyond academics because just 2 days ago my final semester examinations ended of my undergraduate degree, and so now I'm officially my degree is over. I have not got the degree yet, but all the exams and stuff are over, and I suppose I should have a lot of free time in my hand, but yeah, it's busier than ever, but I'm enjoying this kind of stress actually, unlike the exam stress. So I just thought of recording this video. I don't like, I just want to say it's isn't it strange and beautiful, like as I look all around my in every all the houses that you see in this busy bustling city, slowly the consciousnesses, the minds of its inhabitants, of the inhabitants, they're coming back to life after a night's sleep, excluding the ones like me who have been awake all night, of course. But and this got me thinking, like as we stand today in this like now we're really in a transition period, and that there is no doubt about that, right? That goes without saying. So as we look as we look into the future as a civilization, as a race, and especially in this transition period when everything is so the problems we face are so complex and multifaceted. Like there are problems in the sense there are political problems, problems created by humans based on racism, religion, and all this is giving rise to wars. You might think that that's nothing to do with science, but if we want to make some progress in science and technology as a civilization, then we have to talk about all of these problems, because these problems affect us. We are humans, we live in a society, we cannot ignore that. Scientists are not a separate race who live all by themselves and they have nothing to do with society. It's not like that. So we are all we're all in this together, and everything affects everything else, everything affects everyone. So we have to talk about these issues, even if we may not be involved, or even if we may be scientists and not politicians. But you cannot ignore these issues. That's what I'm saying. And the I don't know if this is good or bad, but this is true. No point denying it. And so as we look into these issues, then there are other issues. For instance, climate change. These are more practical, scientific challenges. Then there are theoretical riddles which do not affect humans, but they do affect the curious minds, the minds of. Yeah. So I mean, the point is. Okay, I think I should be audible now. So I think I mean the point is there are a lot of challenges that we face, and some of them are practical, applied challenges, like dealing with problems like climate change and all these things, and which are very practical challenges and multifaceted in the sense. And uh, I mean, you need science to solve them, and that's a different kind of science. You need a multidisciplinary approach. You need not just theoretical science, and not just these problems cannot be solved just on pen and paper or using the equations. You need to, yeah. So like I was saying, you need a more practical, hands-on approach to solve this kind of problems. It's not just these problems cannot be solved just by writing equations down on pen and paper. So these are what I call practical problems, or more pressing problems, because what climate change, pandemics, these affect us more immediately. On the other hand, there are another class of problems which I call theoretical riddles. For instance, quantum gravity, the nature of time, the arrow of time, the dilation, like all these questions. These may not be of immediate effect, may not have an immediate effect on our civilization, on maybe most of the population as a whole. Even if suppose quantum gravity, a successful theory of everything we discovered today, it will not have any immediate effect on most of the population. Maybe there will be some big news in the physics websites, and physicists there will be a stir among the physicists, that's all, among the scientific community, which is not the majority, of course. But these issues like pandemics, wars, nuclear wars, the risk of biological warfare, climate change, these are more pressing issues. But the point is, whatever it is, as we like today, the situations or the problems we face are so complicated. Be it, for instance, if we want to deal with international relations, it's a very important. And this is not just, I believe personally, it's not just a topic that is of relevance to students of who study foreign policy and international relations. It's also a science, because everything that happens around us follows some pattern, mathematics, which most likely, I believe, can be described mathematically. There must be some mathematical rules, some iterations that describe these patterns. So when you're studying a complex system, like even international politics, the way all these countries interact, they are all like just like in game theory. They are players, and they will first their foremost priority is national interest, national security, and all. So if you just take all of this into account and simulate a complex system where each entity is a country, maybe something like that, you can actually try to find patterns, find laws about that can help you better understand these all these behaviors. And it's not just about countries and politics. It's about even on local scale, the human interactions, social interactions, or even more like, let's say, more non-living systems and all. It's the same thing. And the point is, the main thing that I want to say is that like, since it's the crack of dawn, I mean, it's 5:30, I think. It's many people are up and awake by now, but it's still quite I mean, it won't be quite anymore after a few maybe after half an hour. So by the time I'll be done recording this video, don't worry. So yeah, now the point is, as I look around me and just see imagine the consciousnesses flickering back into life one by one as the clock ticks. And it's like, this consciousness, this is something that you cannot restrain, that you cannot hold back, that you cannot, you know, you can, I mean, you can put constraints on human behavior. You can blackmail people using political power, using money. I mean, there's a lot of bad thing happening around the world. I don't need to speak about that. There's enough, like, I mean, that cannot be overstated, and I think all of us are aware of that. So let me not just talk about that. But even after all that, there will still be some people, even if a very small percentage of the human population, there will be some people who will, you cannot put limits on their thoughts. Kill few of them, new ones will emerge. And this relentless thinking, this undying curiosity to understand the world, to find patterns, to do science, and understand the way the world works, this is, I think, the best thing. This is, I think, the only hope that we humanity have, even in today's I should say, like, in today's situation, when we're in a transition period and we're faced with a lot of challenges, and we don't have the tools to deal with all of them right now. We have I mean, I'm not being pessimistic. It could have been worse. And of course, we as a humankind, as a civilization, humankind is very resilient. We have faced wars, pandemics, and even wars and all in the past, and we have not gone extinct. And I don't think we will go extinct, despite what some of the media might be saying, nuclear war, pandemics and all. But I'm not being pessimistic, but it still needs to be said that we are not doing very well. Maybe we don't face an immediate risk of extinction, leaving out mass extinction events, maybe asteroid impacts and those are which are beyond our hands. But still, we're not doing good. I mean, there are a lot of problems which we're facing, and at least some of that could be avoided if through international collaboration, better focus on scientific research, and better literacy, better awareness among people, so that we could focus more on science and knowing new things rather than all this nonsense like, racism, wars, religion, and all these things. But yeah, that needs a major shift in mindset, and that's difficult. But first and foremost, that needs international collaboration, and that needs this mindset of collaboration over competition, which is something that most of the world leaders brag about in their speeches, but in reality, very few follow that. Because yeah, I mean, I don't understand. At some level, every country, every leader, they must have their autonomy. They must guard their national interest first. So there is a very fine line between what is collaboration and what is, because after all, at the end of the day, it's just like game theory. We're all players in this game, and you cannot just go on collaborating without knowing the intentions of the other player. So after a certain point, you have to safeguard your interest, and that might mean competition. I mean, some amount of competition is inevitable for the world to function properly. That I acknowledge. But yeah, this where to draw the line, that's the biggest problem. And I think most of the world today has lost its, I mean, if you think about it, yeah, so if you think about it, I think we have lost our our vision. I mean, like I always say, this is really not the world that our ancestors imagined. I mean, this is maybe we are not at the worst, but we could have done much better as a civilization even at this point of time. I'm not saying we are a lost case. There can be improvements, probably there will be improvements. And yeah, the main point of this video is I just wanted to, like, kind of share this with you. Maybe nothing particular. Of course I don't have a like master plan to save the world or something, but uh, I really find this very motivating and very, like, empowering, kind of very inspiring, that there is, even amidst all of this, there is something, and that is this consciousness, which you cannot, yeah, of course, if it's a mass extinction event or something, the entire population gets extinct, a different thing. But otherwise, whatever happens, it's usually not easy, or practically impossible to wipe out consciousness. And among those consciousnesses, there will be some, no matter how small a number that is, who will always, just like keep on exploring. And that takes, like I always say, genius is not that person who is very hardworking, very talented. There are, most of the people today are hardworking because they have to, in this society, in this rat race, to survive, to survive, to keep your, like, to keep up with the rest of the world, you have to work hard. And those who did, like, do not initially have a habit of working hard, they are forced to develop that habit. So being hardworking is not, it's important, but it's not the end. That will not ensure that you are a genius. A very few people who cannot keep up with the pressure, they succumb. Some of them commit suicide and many things. But yeah, most of the people are hardworking, and most of them are reasonably talented as well. But then what separates an extraordinary person from the ordinary herd? And I think that's neither hard work nor talent. I think that is, this undying, how to put it, this passion to explore the unknown. And to them, to this group of people, that is the most important thing, that I have to know what has never been known before. I have to think what has never been thought before. And they don't care about success, about failure. Maybe they don't care about, okay, if I do this, what are my odds, what are my chances of success? That is the business mindset. That is not a, like, extraordinary or genius mindset. So they don't, the most important thing is they don't have the fear of failure. It's often said that geniuses are the ones who, like, not geniuses in general, but the extraordinary successful people, they're the ones who always, like, they have this success mindset. No, I have to win. It's not always true. I think it's more like I have to do something that has never been done before, and in this attempt I might fail, but that doesn't matter to them. So, like, eliminating the fear of failure, I believe, is more important than just endlessly chasing success. Of course, the second is also important to a certain extent, to a great extent, in fact. But yeah, that's not the last thing. That's not the end of the world. And so I think this small group of people who are exploring these questions and all, you cannot you cannot bring down this number to zero. Maybe if some of them go against the authority, they may be killed, they may be put in jail or whatever. But like, there will always be some who will continue their Newton discovered classical mechanics when he was in I guess when he was in that time also there was plague and all, and he was in quarantine, and he discovered classical mechanics, and that has revolutionized the not only physics but the world around us, technology, everything. So you cannot really constrain these kind of people. You cannot really constrain development. You can slow it down, like you can slow it down, you can speed it up. If you're clever, you will speed it up. If you are not, then you will maybe slow it down. But you cannot stop this flow of consciousness and this the humankind's exploration of the ultimate questions. Whether we'll reach the answers, we don't know, but at least it's a really hopeful thing that I thought I would discuss with you in this video. So I think that's all for this video. I did not discuss anything specific in this video, of course, but yeah, I think I just spoke my mind, and some of you might find it, I don't know, inspiring, interesting, or even funny. I don't know. I really don't know, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to do in this video, share in this video. And I really like, of course, I most of my viewers are not, of course, world leaders or anything, but I think this international collaboration and this collective attitude of attacking problems of humankind, because climate change and all of these issues I mentioned in the initial few minutes of the video, they are not dependent on a specific country, on a specific, I know all the countries are not on the same footing economically or even different parameters, but these are global problems and they need a global attitude to solve. And this through this international collaboration and this first thing is we have to realize that what is the purpose of science. It's not like you, especially in countries like some few countries, even in India, like people are like, science is a tool to, like, science is a path to, secure your future, get some good jobs, engineering, medical. This view is changing, hopefully, recently. I don't know to what extent, but it's certainly changing. But it's still, it needs to change more, and there are still people who believe that And I mean, there are still people who believe that science is something, just a stream, just a subject to study to get a good job, engineering, medical, or even to flex to society that I'm a science student and not an art student, and that kind of nonsense. But uh, this the realization that science is not just a subject to study and get a job. Science is something, the only thing rather, that can, through collaboration. And it's not like science is about, okay, I'm a physicist, you're a, this thing I say in many of my writings and videos. I emphasize this many times, as much as possible, that to solve real life problems, for instance, I want to understand the behavior of complex systems, social interactions, even the behavior of stock market, and then I cannot just do physics. Of course, I may be a physicist, so I will maybe do the physics part, but to actually work on these problems, you need a team. In big research groups, there are people from different disciplines of science. It's not just a team of physicists. There are people from physics, from biochemistry, biology, computer science, medicine, uh, economics, and so on and so forth, because that's the spirit of science, this collaboration and this multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary kind of attitude. And so that's what I like. That's I think this realization about the purpose of science, the meaning of science, and because what it means ultimately for us as a race, because we have to somehow survive and keep on exploring. We don't know why, because ultimately on the individual level, all of us are going to die one day. So you may say, what's the point of it all? But that will, I think, drag us to the domain of philosophy, nihilism, existentialism, and I don't want to go into that in this video. But yeah, I think this, then you can also question what's the point of getting a job. So that argument doesn't hold up in the context of what we are saying in this video. So let's put that aside for now. And I think this realization is really important, and developing this collaboration over competition mindset. And I'd like to know your thoughts in this video, because I think it's high time we talk about these issues. Right now, the world is going through really some very great transition periods. A lot is happening, and it's like this is inevitable. I'm not complaining, because transitions are inevitable in any complex evolving system after a certain period of time. And this will initially, on the short term, this will cause a lot of damage and all, but I think we will emerge as hopefully we will emerge as a stronger race after, once we're past this transition period, if we can see the signs and take proper action in proper time. So there is no good complaining and all. This has been throughout history. We've seen transition periods, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no good complaining, but I think it's high time we take these issues seriously and discuss among ourselves at the local level. Act locally but think globally. It starts from charity begins at home, and then we can try to address these issues as a whole, because that's the best we can do, and that's the only thing we can do right now that makes sense, because we don't have enough time in our hands. We can still thrive, but provided the future of science, the future of humanity can be great, provided we make it so. That's what I wanted to say. So yes, good morning guys, it's morning here, and see you later. Thank you for watching.